Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is RodLand for the Game Boy. RodLand is based on the arcade game of the same name from Jaleco, and believe it or not, this game actually did get ported to quite a few systems, mostly the 8 and 16-bit micros. It was ported to the NES, and it was also ported to the Game Boy. The only thing is, all these ports, including the NES and Game Boy ports, were released in Japan and Europe, but not in North America. Apparently, RodLand was a lot more popular across the Atlantic in Europe than it was here in the States, where I'm recording from. And I find it interesting that they actually did make a Game Boy port of this. This was developed by Eurocom, obviously a European developer, and published by the Sales Curve, which I believe developed one of the versions and had that version published by somebody else. And it's a shame this game never made its way to the States, especially this port, because I watched Das Gemert play it some time ago, and I actually liked it. So anyway, you can play either a one-player game or a two-player game. And if you select a one-player game, you can play as either Tam or Rit. Both characters are exactly the same and pretty much play the same way, so I'm just going to play as Rit just because. By the way, you have to choose your options with start and toggle between them with select before you confirm, because title screens and Nintendo games. Help! Mom is kidnapped by a monster. Mom is taken atop the Mabut's tower, just like in the arcade game. So in this game, you move left and right with left and right. You climb up and down ladders with up and down. A and B let you shoot the wand. And holding up or down and pressing A or B lets you shoot a, or rather create a ladder in that direction. Why would I possibly want to do that? Well, this is how you're going to get around and get away from the enemies. So what happened was, and I'm going to pause the game just to explain everything, there are 16 flowers in each scene. And when you pick them all up, all the enemies get changed into these weird looking blob things, and if you defeat these blob things, they change into letters that spell the word extra. If you spell the word extra, you will automatically go to the next stage and you'll get an extra life. Now, if you defeat the regular enemies, you'll either get fruit that give you bonus points or numerous weapons that will allow you to take out other enemies. I usually stick to getting the letters because it it allows for two things. One, it gets you a ton of points, and two, it allows you to play through the game faster while getting more points, if you know what you're doing. So when you grab an enemy with your wand, you just keep pressing the button over and over again to slam it around, which is something you do want to do, because that's how you get points and also the extra letters. And look at that. We spelled out the word extra. I'm glad I got the R, because that means I don't have to deal with any more enemies. I get an extra life, I go directly to the next stage, and I get 10,000 bonus points. Enter the tower to rescue your mom. So, obviously, at the bottom, we have our info for players 1 and 2. Player 1 is on the lower left, player 2 is on the lower right. You have your You have your current amount of lives on the top row and your current score on the bottom. And in the middle is the current scene you're in. I believe there are 40 scenes in all, and you're going to have to play through them in order to rescue your mom and complete the game. Also, if you run into an enemy, it will hurt. It will be bad. And I thought I grabbed a T there, but I didn't. I did not grab the T. So I will have to grab even more letters just to get another extra life. No big deal. Now, while you can make ladders and use them, the other enemies can use the ladders themselves, which can make for one big headache. I need a T. That'll do. You have until the special music stops playing before the enemies turn back to normal. Just in case. Yeah, you don't have all the time in the world to get those letters. And there's a balloon there at the beginning of scene 5. Wait for it where it is rising up, and then let it carry you. That's how you get up here. Also, you can control where you're going when you fall, which is good. Because, let's face it, you definitely want to make sure you don't fall into any enemies. And I definitely don't want to run into anything like those things. That would be terrible. And this is definitely one of those one hit and you're dead kind of games. So you really, really, really want to be careful. Let's grab that T so that way I don't have to deal with any more running around for a couple seconds. And there we go. As you can say, you can get through levels pretty quickly. And I actually want to use the balloon to get up here. Because, let's face it, it's going to be pretty hard to get to the stuff that's around here if I don't. And also because the worm enemies that are in this scene, you'll really be wanting to use the ladders to get away from them. And they can be pretty fast, just like that. And that can also happen. You don't really want that to happen. I had the feeling that was going to happen, though. I really had the feeling that was going to take place and give me a very bad time. And I thought I would grab the X or some other letter that I wanted to grab right there, but I didn't. Sometimes you just gotta be safe. Also, knowing how to use the ladders, up or down, plus either of the buttons, in case you need a reminder, will really help you. And I needed to move away. A, E, X. Yeah, I had to move away in the mid-swing just so those other enemies wouldn't get near me. You can do that while smacking an enemy back and forth in case you need to give yourself some room to maneuver somehow. And I am putting my ladder right there, so that way I don't have to worry about getting chased by enemies right there. Also, the more flowers you grab, the more points you can pick up if you pick up a whole bunch in a row. Sometimes you'll have 4 enemies, sometimes you'll have more. E-X-T! Got it just in time. I didn't think I did. Anyway, we are now at Scene 10. There are 40 scenes in all, and if you beat those, you beat the game. I've already mentioned that before, but I'm going to mention it again just because. And where are those enemies? Ah! I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Well, at least they move away from you when that happens. Ah! It disappeared. I couldn't get it in time. But here's our first boss, these bird-spitting crocodiles. You want to stay at least 2 tiles away and hit them with the wand. If you hit any... Really? If you hit any of the birds as you do that, that's a good bonus. And after some time, the crocodiles will move to your level if given the chance to do so. You just gotta be real careful with the little birds that they spit out. Those crocodiles are easy to defeat. You just gotta watch out for the birds. There we go. I'll do that. I'll keep myself on the balloon for next time, because you want to get on that as soon as you see it. Join me next time where we play scenes 11 through 20. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!